Hey there, it's Wendie Pett with Visibly Fit, and I have my dear friend, Dr. Lynnette Simm, here with me. And we just wrapped up a 7-week Visibly Fit program, and Dr. Lynnette was a part of it. And it was so much fun to have you in the group. Thanks for being on this call and being on this time together just to share your kind of where you were health-wise and where you are today after going through the 7 weeks. So let's just kind of start from scratch. Where were you health-wise and your husband? Because I know you guys kind of came in this together. And why did you want to see an improvement in your health?
Well, I was just blessed that when I met you, Wendie, it was literally 7 days after my husband had a heart attack. And while we were not morbidly obese individuals, we were not as healthy as we could be, obviously. Come to find out that he does have a genetic disorder that caused him to have a heart attack. And the plaque and cholesterol and stuff, while wasn't horrible, it obviously wasn't good either. And so little by little, it started to fester, and thus the heart attack. And myself, I was actually dealing with diabetes. I had hit 44-ish, and I just couldn't get the weight off. And so it just kind of stayed there and stayed pretty heavy. And so my A1Cs just started climbing little by little by little. And so when I met you and we interviewed you for our show, Pearls of Promise Ministries.
Which is a great show, by the way.
Yeah.
Pearls of Promise Ministries.
Yes. And so we had this lovely time, and I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, you are bringing this woman who has a way to help us. And so after interviewing with you, I was like, could you please tell me what this plant-based voodoo-y thing that you want us to do? And you're like, oh my gosh. And the enthusiasm in which you shared was what really drove. So then I had to go back home and say, well, Madison, I think I found it. And he's like, really? Okay. So, and then I started laying out what the program was like. And he goes, so you think we're going to be able to do this? I said, well, we're going to give it our best. And so that's really where it started, was two unhealthy individuals really just being hit by the Lord saying, hey, I've got somebody for you.
Yeah.
So that's where it started.
And it was just timing. Your A1Cs what were they when we first started working together?
My high was 6.7, and I was on 2 medications at the time.
Right. And now after the 7 weeks, what does your A1C look like now, and the medications? What does that look like?
I'm at a 6.2, and 1 medication was already taken away. So I'm only on 1. And if all goes well, as in Lynette is still following her plant-based lifestyle, then I should be able to get off the second one by the end of the year, if not the beginning of the new year.
And that's the big goal, of course, because medication has repercussions long-term as you're taking them. And the body really desires to self-regulate, and we can do that through the proper nutrition and exercise. And so I'm just so proud of you, because you also released 20 pounds almost, correct?
Yes. 20 pounds. I was really surprised.
And do you remember how many inches?
Oh gosh, inches everywhere. I think a total, if I remember, we covered about 17 inches. You know, you have some off your arms, some off your bust. I had a lot off my waist, not as much as I wanted off my hips, but I'm a hip kind of person, and that's just my chick. Yeah. So, but I mean, in my neck, I mean, I was just like, wow. So yeah, 17. That's great. That's a lot.
That's more than, I mean, you hold up a measuring tape, that's more than a foot.
Yeah.
So it's on its way to 2 feet. So that's pretty cool. And did you go down in your dress sizes, pant sizes?
Yes. I think my pant size, and I'm going to use the highest number. Okay. Because of course, as women, we know that certain pants will fit, and depending upon the size, you can range.
Too. Yeah.
Correct. So my highest was a 14. And now my lowest, and I couldn't get past a 12. Okay. So I was like 14, you know, it looked a little baggy in a 16, but 14 was about it. Now I'm in an 8.
Woo! That's awesome.
So, of course, other sums, there's tens, whatever, but the
Sure.
lowest that I have is
Is an
an
8.
8. And yeah,
That
and
is
it's a very fit pair. So,
yeah, but that's incredible. I mean, just think, just 7 weeks, 7 short
mhm,
weeks. And I know in the beginning you went through a series of detox. Let's
mhm.
talk a little bit about the detox and how you pushed through it. And I think also not just how, I mean, I think your why propelled you to your how,
Mhm.
because your why was greater than your pain. Or in that, actually your pain and your why kind of matched up, right? Like we have
Mhm.
this. But let's talk about the detox and how you felt that first week.
Well, for me, detox actually took a little bit longer. I was still feeling the fatigue. For me, it was an enormous amount of fatigue. I can't believe how tired I was. So as a diabetic, of course, my drug of choice was sugar. And that was one of the things that we had to give up. We had to give up sugar. I'm not a caffeine person. In fact, I've told Wendie many a times I have a major drinking problem. I forget to drink, and that's I don't drink
Drink
coffee.
water.
I'm not a yeah. I forget to. I don't drink coffee very much at all. I do enjoy green tea, but it usually has sugar in it.
Not
Um,
anymore, does it?
yeah. Mm-mm.
Good.
Nope, no. I've got some really great herbal green tea that I'm really enjoying, but it still has some caffeine in it. But I forget to drink water. I mean, you'd be surprised at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, oh gosh, I have a bit of a headache, and I haven't
Mhm.
drank any water.
And that's a
And
big
my
thing with
diet,
that fatigue too.
yeah, and my
That will.
diet did not have rich foods that had a lot of water in them. Like I wasn't eating fruits and vegetables and all of that. Bread doesn't have very much, candy doesn't have very much fluids in it. And so going that first 2 weeks, not having that sugar rush at about 3, 4 o'clock every day to push me through, I was exhausted. I seriously thought I was sick. It was I didn't even exercise. And the program asks you to move your butt, and I couldn't move my bum to save my life. I was just so tired. But I think you were really gracious. You're like, just walk around the house, walk around the house. So I was
Right.
doing that, but I didn't have the headaches because I didn't have the caffeine issue, but the fatigue was pretty hard for me.
And then
So.
now where you are on the energy level scale is where?
Well, now I'm just like, so Madison, that's my husband's name. I'm like, so Madison, can we go for a walk now? And he's like, really? I was like, yeah. So I enjoy getting out. I enjoy going for a walk, and it's really changed from, oh my gosh, I have to go for a walk, to, oh my gosh, I get to go
I
for a
get
walk. It's
to.
beautiful out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful out. Let's go for a walk.
And
And so,
incorporating the Visibly Fit exercises have been great. And I
yes.
a photo of you and Madison doing the workout together, which was so cute. But building that muscle is a big thing too, right? Just being able to
I've noticed that
exercise
it's not like bulk muscle,
anywhere.
but that nice lean muscle that is really helping me tone more.
Yeah.
Even in my neck and face, which, you think, oh my gosh, I don't want to lose weight in my neck and face because it'll look bad. But all of them working together, I don't feel weak. I feel very, very fit.
Yeah, very visibly fit. Well, you look it
Visibly
too.
fit. Oh, thank you.
You look it. Well, I'm just so proud of you. And I wanted to comment on Madison quickly as well, because he's had a big shift as well. I mean, just coming off of the operating table to
Hmm.
going into whole food plant-based, and then the Visibly Fit exercises and all of it together, the whole program. How is he doing in comparison to where he started, of course?
Well, Madison is down 25 pounds. And yes, I know it's unfair that men tend to lose more than us, but so he's down 25 pounds. And I mean, he's still enjoying it. Do we miss beef? No, actually, we don't. We've had several opportunities to eat it, and we're just not like, okay.
Right.
Do we miss chicken? No, not really. I haven't had a piece of chicken in 4 months now, or 3 months, however long it's been.
Right.
But sugar is still my nemesis, so that's a hard one. And for him, it's salt. Salt is a little harder for him.
Mhm.
So we each have our white powder. That's pretty hard. So,
That's good.
but he has more energy. He even got COVID, and while the fatigue did hit him pretty hard, he was able to bounce back with no medication other than Tylenol, and no hospitalization for anything.
Praise God.
And I personally didn't get it at all. And I
Right.
did not leave my husband. I stayed in the same bed with him the entire time. And so expecting that we'll do this together, but I didn't get it at all.
Well,
And
your
so,
immune systems have been built up, and it is amazing how every body is different, right? But
mhm,
the fact that you're speaking of him having COVID and him in Madison getting through it pretty quickly is a
mhm,
testimony to itself, especially after overcoming a heart surgery and all the things.
mhm.
So I just love hearing that, and it's really um, simple in how to take care of ourselves, but sometimes we need that person to come alongside of us and keep you accountable. And so that's really what Visibly Fit does as well. So can you talk on the level of accountability and how I kept you accountable throughout the whole 7 weeks and how that played a role in the success?
Okay. So changing your lifestyle it's hard. And I don't think I could have done it without my husband joining me. So that was very important. But when Wendie Invisibly Fit comes along and says that they're going to hold you accountable, and she has, another coach that helps her as well, they are on you in a positive way. I have to reiterate that, a very positive way, but they are on you every single day, 3 to 4 times a day. So you have all those meals, but then you also have, check-ins in between, like how you doing, how you feeling, so on and so forth. Having to actually be accountable and take a photo of what you're eating and being proud of it or being ashamed of it. Um, and then even in the, I used to make, I still do, I make using the Ezekiel bread. I use the English muffins that they have, and I make egg with avocados and spinach and mushroom, little breakfast sandwiches. And every time I made one, they're like, you could do it open faced and only have one slice of bread. And the carb junkie in me was like, I could, but
But
and nonetheless, it was every single time. So they were very consistent, even though that was not something I was choosing to do. They were very consistent in what they said, and they were very kind in everything they said. It was never from a condemning place. It was from a knowledge place. If you save your space, you could have this and you can enjoy that, and so on and so forth. Have you thought about this? You could add this. Everything was really great. I was like, I'm craving sugar. And they're like, add more celery into your diet. And I'm like, celery. Yeah.
well, that one
And
actually would be for the salt because that one's going to
oh,
be for
well,
the sodium.
oh, it was for the sodium.
That was
My
for
bad.
Madison.
Okay, yes. That's why I remember it, because
Yes,
Madison loves salt, hates celery.
right.
And so I chopped up celery in almost every soup or chili, or I couldn't put it in the salad, so you notice it right away.
Right.
And slowly but surely his cravings left. And so, yeah, I mean, their techniques, their tools, the food prep, the words of encouragement. I mean, seriously, the words of encouragement really, really can help you when you're having this day and you're just like, I don't want to eat another salad. If I see anything green, I swear I'm going to die. And yet they're like, you can do this. You're doing great. And you're just like, okay, it's awesome. It really was awesome. And
Wow.
and I'm a words of encouragement kind of gal. It's very important to me. It's one of the love language I like to give. But Wendie, you and your team did a fabulous job helping
Mm,
Madison and I. And
thank
I
you.
would show
We're so
him, and
honored.
together we looked at it and said, okay, how can we better ourselves?
Yeah. Well, I'm
So
so
it
proud
was
of you,
amazing.
Madison. And you guys really stuck with the plan, and that's what it takes. And I'm
Hmm.
grateful that you had each other to keep you accountable at home as well, because not everybody has that. Not
Hmm.
everyone needs it either, but I think it's great that you guys had each other. But I'm just so proud of you. Keep going down this road, like no turning back. because you do have the knowledge and you know what certain foods do to your body versus other foods. And so we want to continue to fuel the body with life-giving nutrients and phytochemicals and all those wonderful things, so that you don't have those cravings, and your body is able to rebalance and heal itself, right? So thank you again for hopping on and just sharing. Would you share maybe just one thought, because I know you're a woman of faith. Would you share one thought of someone that might be in a place of fear or not understanding their worth, something to that nature, if they're contemplating looking into Visibly Fit?
Well, twofold. I'm Dr. Lynnette Simm. I have a degree in education. So it was very important to me that this wasn't somebody's opinion of how I should have and live my life, but the information provided was all science-based. Everything that they provided showed a scientific background. They would let us know how certain foods interacted with our body, and then also shared a variety of resources that would feed our minds so that we understood why we were doing this. How, for example, dairy can really affect our system, creating a massive amount of inflammation, which then can cause more issues, keep you sick and weaker longer, things like that. So the educator in me truly loved all of the resources provided. Now, the child of God in me never thought that I could, on my own, do anything to make myself happier or healthier. And I was 100% right, because I needed the Lord. And the Lord really provided his army of people when he provided Wendie that day. When she walked in and she was all peppy and she was like, this will work. And I'm like, you don't understand. I have looked like this. I have felt like this my whole life. And you're going to tell me you can do something? So when I'm talking about the words of encouragement, it wasn't just you're doing great, Lynette. It was you're important, Lynette. And God loves you, Lynette. And God loves Madison. And you guys have this together. And he's with you. So there was words of encouragement that fed our soul, as well as fed our bodies and our minds. So I think that for me was the most important. As a woman, period, I understand that I'm never going to look like somebody else. But Visibly Fit really made me understand that that's okay. I can be the best me, because we are uniquely made, and God knows every hair on my head. And he didn't make me to look like anybody else. And my outcomes, we were in a group. My outcomes was nothing like anybody else's. They all had their own issues to go through, and they all had their triumphs. And so we just came together and loved on one another. So I think that was pretty amazing too. So I think if you are looking for a true health change that's going to move you more than just your derriere, it is going to be a lifestyle change for your body. You're going to feel so amazing. It's going to be a life change for your mind, because you're going to learn so much. And we even fact check this. I mean, I'm not a, just laissez-faire, listen to what they say kind of person. Neither is my husband, who's a science-based individual. And then you're going to really grow your spirit in knowing that God has an amazing community out there that he brings to us, and that he wants us to rely on one another, and that he's there every step of the way with visible results. Ooh, Visibly Fit, visible results. Look at that.
I love you so much. You're such
thank you.
A dear woman and a dear friend. And I'm honored and grateful that we have come together in this way, and that God has put us together for such a time as this. So bless you. Thank you for your great words. And I know they will encourage many. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.